When it comes to looking your best, most of the time it's the small things, the details, the subtle changes that really make your look stand out. So today I wanted to break down easy style upgrades, some of which you can even apply today that have helped me over the years. So there's no need to revamp your wardrobe just yet. So let's dive into it. The first upgrade that you can make to your look is incorporating jewelry and accessories to your outfits. Now, I don't mean go completely all out, because there was a point in time where I was wearing so much jewelry and I thought that more rings meant better. And this might be a fashion hot take, but I do think that wearing too much jewelry can really mess with your outfit. So be careful with this one. So we're talking about minimal but intentional jewelry. I don't go crazy with the rings anymore. I really just wear two now at this point. Sometimes I go for things with designs, but now I've been leaning towards just a clean slate, something that doesn't have any logos or crazy skulls. I'm more of a simple kind of person. I think less is more. Maybe you like the big skulls and the big gems. Feel free to go all out if that's what you like. Investing in a solid watch can really take your look to a whole nother level. There's so many brands of watches out there. You could do the Seikos, the Hamiltons, the Tissot's. If you wanted to spend a bit more money, there's the Grand Seikos. You could even buy Casio's, because I have seen a lot of great Casio's in the market. So if you're currently lacking in the wrist game, I would definitely prioritize getting a good watch above anything else. After getting the solid watch, I would probably look towards getting a bracelet, something in the 925 silver realm. That is going to be the most reliable metal that you can get for a budget cost. I always recommend Etsy for jewelry. I've found so many great deals handmade by small businesses. And finally, I would look at getting some necklaces. Personally, I have these two stacked on top of each other. This gold one was one that was given to me as a child, and then this thicker chain necklace. I think I got this one from Hard Jewelry, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. And then this cross I found at a small silver shop. So if you're putting together an outfit and you feel like it's falling flat, you might not have the right jewelry to go along with it. Of course, I think the watch is going to be the most important way and the best way to elevate a look. You don't really need rings and necklaces, but having a solid watch, in my opinion, is almost a non-negotiable. And I'm not talking about an Apple Watch, because don't wear Apple Watches with your suit. As a matter of fact, no more tech watches in general. I think there's a time and place for those, but with formal wear, it just doesn't look right. And that's just my hot take, maybe. If your outfit feels off, try tucking in your shirt. And what I like about this tip is it's something that you could pretty much implement today. You don't need to go out and purchase anything else additional. This is just a subtle change you can make to your wardrobe to make your outfits feel different. So there's a couple tucking methods that I utilize when I'm putting together fits, and the first one that we'll go over is the French tuck. The reason why I like this method so much is you don't have to tuck your shirt in all the way around, which of course always has its time and its place. The French tuck is a great medium point if you're looking for a casual, but also you want to have some definition and shape to your body. So the way that you achieve the French tuck is you just simply tuck the front portion of your t-shirt, basically that part where only the belt would be showing. And the reason why I like this method so much is it helps you implement the golden ratio, where you're able to add a little bit of a segment break to your outfits, and especially if you're wearing a really cool, nice belt, you can show it off, and it really adds a little bit of a nice element to your look. Recently, I did that with one of my outfits when I went to Japan. I had this really nice Western-inspired silver belt that when I did the French tuck, it just displayed the belt a little bit. For me, this is the real difference between just wearing clothing and styling it. The half tuck is what I normally use when I'm wearing button-ups, and I find that the button-ups are just a little too long and I want to control the way that it's draping on my body. The way that you do this is you unbutton your shirt just a couple buttons up to where maybe your belt line would be, and you tuck one half of the portion into your waistband. So one side of the shirt would be left untucked and the other side, say it's on the right side, would be tucked in, and it would give you that sort of tailored look. Getting into these different tucking methods could really change your look from looking lazy to intentional. And like I said earlier, it's going to be that differentiating factor between just wearing an outfit and styling. As soon as I started implementing these different methods, I feel like it changed the feeling of my outfits. Your socks might be ruining your outfit. For some reason, socks are very underlooked when it comes to this, and I'm not sure if it's because people just say, yeah, I have shoes on, my pants are gonna cover it, it's not going to matter. I fell into this trap too a while ago where I didn't really care about the socks I was wearing, but when I started to wear chinos, pleated trousers, and even shorts, I quickly started to realize maybe I need to upgrade my sock game, because this is kind of getting embarrassing. And this especially applies for when you're wearing more formal attire. Having the right socks is pretty much mandatory. If you're looking for a good sock recommendation, especially if you're looking for something that's more on the dressier end, I swear by the Uniqlo sock section. They have pretty much every color you could ever imagine or want, and they're at a decent price and extremely comfortable. And the great thing is, when I'm putting together these outfits, I'm not trying to hide the socks because oftentimes they really make the look even better. And aside from that, I do have another sock recommendation that I think would look awesome in the summer and if you're wearing casual sneakers and things like that. There's a company called 3am Latte, and they sell these vanilla tube socks for just $20. I think that these look great for casual sneakers, and in fact, they really remind me of those Yeezy socks that I saw a couple years back. If you're looking for something that's a bit more casual and you don't want to go the dressy sock route that Uniqlo offers, I think that 3am Latte is a great option for those who are looking for something a little bit more casual, a little bit more streetwear-esque. I think especially they would look great with shorts. They have a lot of great colors too. They have this set called the Matcha Bundle, which comes with matcha, vanilla, mocha, latte, pretty much all of the earthy tone colors you would ever need. I think that these look awesome. I think you could do a lot with that vanilla color too, actually. So when it comes to sock choices, of course, I think it definitely matters. And if you're looking for two great options, I think Uniqlo and 3am Latte cover both ends of the spectrum. Uniqlo for the more dressier fits, like I said, when you're wearing the trousers, the pleated trousers especially, anything that's a bit more dressy, I would lean towards Uniqlo. If you're wearing something a bit more casual, you're wearing them with the Birks like the picture shows, or maybe just some other sneakers, 3am Latte is a great option. I always preach that you don't need a new wardrobe, you just need clothing that fits you better. And once I started implementing tailoring, it completely changed the vibe of the fits I was putting together. And the reason I say this, when I first started getting into tailoring, I thought that it only applied to button-ups, suits, special occasions, weddings. But as soon as I started implementing tailoring to my regular clothes, I started noticing a drastic difference. Most of the time, we just wear things right off of the rack without even thinking twice about it. But one thing we need to realize is that these are just general sizes, and since our bodies are so unique, they aren't necessarily tailored to your specific proportions. And that's where tailoring comes in. I got a few pairs of pleated pants from Proper Cloth, and I noticed that the sizing was a little off. But initially when I made this order, I got a few sizes too large because I kind of wanted a little bit more of a relaxed feel to the pieces that they had. And of course, when I put them on, they fit me insanely off. They needed to be hemmed a bit. They also needed to be brought in just a little bit on the waistband. And instead of ordering a new size and compromising on the look that I wanted to go for, I just took a pair of reference pants that I wanted them to fit like. I brought it to the tailor and they fixed the pants for me, and they're one of my favorite pleated pants ever. And so the reason why I say it's important to tailor also your normal clothes is because of the simple fact that a lot of the times the sizing isn't meant for you specifically. And the great thing is that if you have a sample pair of pants and you oversize, say, a trouser that you want to purchase, you can simply just take that reference and say, hey, can you make these like these? Because it's easier to work with more fabric than it is with less fabric. So don't be afraid to hem your pants, taper the legs if you really need to. Those small tweaks really do make a big difference, and I'll always vouch for Uniqlo for offering the opportunity to hem your pants, because that in itself is a big difference maker. When you're wearing pants that are way too long, it can kind of change the feeling of an outfit. Tailoring is going to take a little bit of money up front to get done, but it's definitely worth the cost, because not only are you going to wear that piece over and over again, but it's going to be your go-to pair of jeans, trousers, chinos, whatever the case may be, and that all of a sudden justifies the cost that you spent. Style isn't just about clothing, because grooming plays a big part in the overall package of your look. I don't get haircuts super frequently, and I don't think it's mandatory, but what I do is I maintain my beard. Maintaining your beard, I think, makes the biggest difference, if you have one, of course. I think that at least trying to keep the line up in the beard at a shorter length kind of changes the way that I look, honestly. When I let my beard grow out too crazy, and when it starts to get messy on the lines under here and on the sides here, it starts to look like I haven't had a haircut in weeks. So personally speaking, I don't get haircuts super frequently. Some people are on this cadence of every week, every 2 weeks. Honestly, sometimes I'll go monthly with haircuts, because I do most of the work at home when I'm maintaining it. A couple things that I use to maintain my grooming is the Philips Norelcro. That's been a complete game changer for me. I also use eyebrow razors. If you're not a fan of safety razors, eyebrow razors are a game changer. They're safer, they're easy to use. With all that being said, if you're someone who doesn't trust yourself yet with safety razors, consider eyebrow razors. And another thing I use is those foil razors, because they do a really good job of keeping this area here bald. If you really want that close shave, you pretty much always need a foil shaver. Now, the reason why I lean more towards the upkeep and the grooming side of things is because haircuts now are getting outrageous. They're getting expensive. It's starting to become between $60, $80, even sometimes $100 per haircut. I remember the times when you could get a haircut for $20. So naturally, I'm only really getting a haircut when I have something big coming up, and in between all those days, I'm mostly keeping up with the products that I mentioned. Another thing that's a part of grooming that is sometimes looked over is also the upkeep of your nails, making sure that they're trimmed short, they're not dirty. Those things like that are kind of standard practice. Oftentimes I feel like that's not a part of people's consistent routine, which is sometimes shocking. I mean, I'm sure if you're watching this video on fashion, you're probably the type that does notice those things and does keep up with those things. I like to use those nail clipper sets. They come with pretty much everything. They come with the normal clipper, filer. They also come with scissors, pretty much everything that you need to keep up with the trimming of your nails. I do think that grooming is one of those smaller details that can really push your look forward, and it's kind of the cherry on top when putting everything all together. So there's no need to revamp your wardrobe just yet, because I do think these tips can be applied to the things you currently own. And if they can't be revived with these tips, then maybe it might be time to upgrade. But for now, I think that this is a great first step. I really hope you guys enjoyed these tips. These are genuinely things that have helped me in my journey, and I hope they help you wherever you're at. And if you're already established and watching this video, feel free to leave a comment below and help those who are still trying to figure it out. And honestly, I learn a lot from you guys too, so feel free to drop me gems, because I'm always looking to learn, improve, and grow. As always, thanks so much for watching. Hope to see you on the next one.